Football season's back, guys, and you know what that means. Watch your favorite team do good and watch them go to the playoffs and possibly win the Super Bowl. Unless you're a Browns fan and you're just waking up from your fantasy dream, and in that case, I actually feel kind of sorry for you. So basically, as a new series, I'll be predicting all the NFL games week 1 all the way until the Super Bowl happens. I will be releasing each prediction either Wednesday or Thursday right before Thursday night's game. I will be picking the worst games of the week and the best games of the week for you guys to watch. And also, to get you guys involved, I'll let you guys choose one game that you guys get to decide the winner of. And that pretty much sums it up, so let's go ahead and get right into these predictions. So for the first game of the 2017 NFL season, we have the Patriots versus the Chiefs. Honestly, this should be a great start to the season. If you're a Patriots fan, of course. I mean, honestly, you can't stop Brady. Unless you're Seattle's defense.
This time, won't you save me? This time, won't you save me?
So yeah, I'm going to take the Patriots in this game. The next game is the Jets versus the Bills. If you're watching this game, you really have nothing else better to do with your life. That is why this game is being nominated as the worst game of the week. Literally, the Jets have the worst pass defense in the NFL, and the Bills have the worst offense in the NFL. And just because I don't want to choose between two terrible teams, I'm going to let you guys choose this game. So go in the comments right now and tell me who the winner of this game is going to be. Our next game is the Eagle versus the Red. Oh wait, can't say that. I forgot. I'll get sued by the NFL or sued by politics or whoever deals with that. So we're going to call them the Indians. So in this Indian versus Eagle game, we have Ginger Jesus versus You Like That.
You like that? You like that?
Carson Wentz started off great last season, but I gotta admit, Kirk Cousins is doing a lot better than what everybody thought, because a couple years ago, he was just another backup that nobody cared for, but now he's like one of the biggest paid NFL players there is. The Indians, they put a lot of time and effort to build and develop him, and they're not really building and developing their team, and that's what's hurting them the most right now. Now going back to the Eagles, Carson Wentz had 2 major imports this season to add to their offense. He has Torrey Smith and LeGarrette Blount now. LeGarrette Blount is a great running back. He's super fast. He knows what he's doing. He's good in the backfield. He's good at blocking. He scores touchdowns. He can win games. I mean, LeGarrette Blount can do it all. But if we go back to Torrey Smith, he played for the Niners for the past 2 seasons and didn't really do that good because they weren't using him in the right way. But if the Eagles use him in the right way, they could get a phenomenal player out of him. And that's why I have the Eagles beating the Redskins this week. The next game we have is the Raiders versus Titans. This could easily be a shootout this week for both teams. The Titans have Marcus Mariota, Eric Decker, DeMarco Murray, Delaney Walker, and Corey Davis. The Titans have been getting better and better every year, and this is the year that Marcus Mariota can bring his team to the playoffs. I mean, the Titans right now have one of the best offenses in the league. They have the best offensive line for sure, and one of the best running backs in the league right now, who not only can block, but when he gets a pass, he is one of the most dangerous people on the field. Now, when we look at the Raiders team, the Raiders also have a pretty good offense. They have Derek Carr, Michael Crabtree, Amari Cooper, Latavius Murray, who they just acquired from the Vikings. The Raiders have a Super Bowl contending team. It's just a matter of Derek Carr can't get hurt this season. None of their offensive line can't get hurt this season. They can't be holding out on contracts like Donald Penn was doing. Michael Crabtree has to stay healthy. Amari Cooper has to have more catches. And they have to make it through the season without a major injury. Although I have the Raiders winning this week, Titans fans, hear me out. Not only will this be an amazing game this week, this could be one of the best games in the whole entire season. Our next game is the Texans versus Jaguars, and I'm taking the Texans. Enough said about that. Our next game is the Cardinals versus the Lions. This game won't be that bad, but it's not going to be that fun to watch either. I mean, even Detroit fans can agree with me. Lions games are not that fun to watch. Matthew Stafford is way overpaid with a $135 million contract, and he's not even that good. Tom Brady doesn't even get paid that much, and he's the best quarterback to ever play the game. I really don't have anything else to say about this game. I'm just going to take the Cardinals because of David Johnson, Carson Palmer, and Larry Fitzgerald. The next game is the Steelers versus Browns, and I really don't have to say anything about this game, just except for the fact the Steelers are going to win because they're playing the Browns. Falcons versus Bears. Now just don't blow a 25-point lead, Atlanta, and you're good. Our next game is Ravens versus Bengals. This should be a very interesting game, but keep in mind, this is the first home opener in Cincinnati ever since 2009. Now, in my opinion, home openers are good for the team. It just gives the team extra momentum and confidence going into that game, knowing they're playing at home for the first game and striving to do better for the fans. Now, bad news for Bengals fans, John Ross is possibly out for 6 weeks with that knee injury he had against Indianapolis. It's tough for them because AJ Green, they were going to try and get him wide open using John Ross as bait, or they were going to use AJ Green as bait and get John Ross open. Either way, they were just going to get the ball to one of them and try and score as fast as they can. Now let's talk about the Ravens for a second. Joe Flacco coming off that shoulder injury, and he's going to start for the Ravens this week. That is a terrible move by the Ravens. Honestly, in my opinion, Joe Flacco is not an elite quarterback anymore like he was. He used to be good back a couple years ago at his peak. He honestly should have retired right there because the next season he tore his MCL and his ACL and has fallen off track ever since that. So if I were the Ravens right now, I would be looking at quarterbacks for next year's draft, trading for a quarterback, or looking at free agent quarterbacks to develop, because Joe Flacco is not getting the job done in Baltimore, and if you want to go back to the Super Bowl, you're going to have to switch Joe Flacco. So for the winner of this game, I have the Bengals, but who knows, because these two teams have not been doing good for the past couple of years, and who really knows what's going to happen this year. Colts versus Rams, I'm taking the Rams, and I'm not really going to explain why I chose them because both teams are trash right now and I really don't want to talk about it. Panthers versus 49ers. I'm going to keep this one real short. I'm just going to take the Panthers in this one only because Christian McCaffrey went there and he's going to help out that organization a whole lot, and the Niners, they're just not that good. Our next game is the Seahawks versus Packers, and this is my game of the week right here. When these two teams head up, you know it's going to be a good game. Like the NFC Championship game when the Packers blew a 16-0 lead, or when a couple seasons ago Seattle went to Green Bay and played on Sunday night and lost against Green Bay in an outstanding game. Aaron Rodgers, mad respect for that dude. All the Hail Marys he's thrown.
That Starks. They are going to bring pressure again. Rodgers is going to roll away. Throws it up in the air, says a prayer, and Janis does not stop it.
Everything he's been put in, game tight situation.
Comes underneath, and the pass is incomplete, out of bounds. Now they say complete. Seconds left. The Packers are going to have a chance to win it.
Where he's got to get his team all the way 99 yards, and he's got to get a Hail Mary to win the game, and he wins the game. Mad respectful. But you got to look at the Seahawks. Russell Wilson, Thomas Rawls, Doug Baldwin, Paul Richardson, Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor, Richard Sherman. This is another Super Bowl contending team this year. The winner of this game is going to be Seattle, but who knows, because Green Bay is going to be a great team, and all out, this is just going to be a great game. And for our first Sunday night football game of the year, we have the Dallas Cowboys versus the New York Giants. There's nothing I really need to say about this game except for the fact that I think the Cowboys are going to win, only because Ezekiel Elliott isn't going to be suspended this week, and he's going to be a tremendous input into this game. Our next game is the Saints versus the Vikings, and I think the Saints are going to win this week only because Adrian Peterson is facing his old team, and I just think he's going to ball out this week. I mean, look at players like DeMarco Murray, Brett Favre, Peyton Manning, Marcus Allen. When they went to different teams and they faced their old teams, they had some of the best games in their life. Our last game of the week is the Chargers versus the Broncos. Really, the Broncos defense is what is saving the Broncos right now. Look at players on their defense like Brandon Marshall, Von Miller, Chris Harris, Aqib Talib. Those players are literally saving the team because when you look at their offense with Trevor Siemian, CJ Anderson, Demaryius Thomas, and Emmanuel Sanders, that's about all you're going to find in their offense. If I were the Broncos GM right now, I would be looking at better offensive players for either next year's draft by scouting for them or looking at players to trade for next year, because if they want another Super Bowl run, you're going to have to build your offense back up. Now let's talk about the Chargers for a second. The Chargers for the past few years have had terrible luck with the draft. For the past 3 seasons, their number 1 draft pick has left practice because of a torn ACL. For example, their brand new offensive lineman this year they got from the draft, which was high scouted, high reported by almost every NFL team, left his second day of practice with a torn ACL. What is up with the Chargers offense too? How do they still have Phillip Rivers at quarterback? Because for the past 3-4 seasons, he's not been getting the job done. He's had 7-9 record seasons. He's been terrible. He's led the league in interceptions almost every single year. So if that doesn't tell them that they need to switch quarterbacks, I don't know what will. So now that I'm done rambling about how bad both teams are, it's time to decide who the winner of this week will be. I'm going to go with the Broncos just because they have a better defense and a better offense than the Chargers. So that pretty much sums it up for this week. Hope you guys enjoy my predictions. If you did, go ahead and leave a like and let me know what you guys think about the games this week. Till then, fuck the Rams.